These are the basic principles of a sound tax system. So this is coming from the canon law, that after the observation in a long time, several years, they have found that to have a sound tax system, first it must be fiscal, it has a fiscal adequacy. Means to say that the budget, the source of the revenue, must be sufficient to meet the increasing demands of the public expenditures. So in other words, the revenue collected from the tax must be equal to what is budgeted or what is needed in order to serve the public or to suffice the public needs. So the goal of the government must be able to generate the funds to defray the necessary. However, this type of the attribute of a sound or the principles of a sound tax system is not always met. Actually, it's seldom be met because you cannot control how much of tax you can be raised from the collection, and the budget, you can fix the budget, but the revenue is not really exactly you can anticipate that. So they need, so what we call this one, like loan from the external source, like from the World Bank or IMF to do it if there is what we call a deficit in the budget. Second, we have administrative feasibility. Says here that the tax law must be capable of effective and efficient enforcement by the government, because the goal of the system should be simple, clear, and convenient for both taxpayer and administrators. So that's why now we have some digital platform to pay our taxes, and also we can file online of our tax returns. So that would minimize the the difficulty of filing taxes by means of manual. And another way is they have established this withholding tax system in order to make it more efficient to collect tax, because it is already withheld at source, making every taxpayer subject to that as a collecting agent. So there could be a lot of collecting agent on behalf of the BIR in the form of this withholding tax system. Third is the theoretical justice. The concept is must be based on the taxpayer's ability to pay. So when it comes to the VAT, if you can see, those who can spend money for the vatable goods, that is the basis for the ability to pay, because they can spend money and the government can impose tax on that. So the goal is the tax burden should be distributed fairly and progressively, and who have the greater capacity to pay should contribute more. So if you have vehicle with that is consuming fuel, so these particular taxpayers are enjoying the use of the road. So I think I have discussed this on my earlier videos. Therefore, if they are enjoying the road, they're consuming more fuel. So on the fuel, the government is imposing VAT. So the more fuel they consume, the more VAT that they are paying. So in other words, the more taxes that they are paying. So that is one way of distributing the burden of the tax fairly and progressively. Progressively is in the form of schedular tax rates that is available to the individual only. I think this is the only table or schedular tax that is left now this time, because in the old time we have state tax and also the donors tax, but now it has none. Okay, but again, so that's the theoretical justice. What are they trying to secure is the apportionment of this, that is based on the ability to pay. Fourth is the consistency with the economic goal. So it should be the tax system should support, not unduly hinder the country's main economic objectives. So if one of the ways of boosting economy is like inviting direct investors, so promoting some like economic zone and giving some tax incentives of those investors can promote the economic objectives or improve the economy of the Philippines. So that's one way of doing that. So that's how the consistency of economic goals. So therefore, if this is the plan of the executive in order to grow the economy, then the tax laws that are enacted by the legislative body should be aligned with that. So the tax law should be aligned with the government's effort to promote investment economy. So this is one of what I'm talking about. So the policies should serve as a tool for economic regulation and development. So that's it. That's it. All about the principles of sound tax system, and we have four now. Before we have only three.